Today we get to send more crap into space, starting with this 110-pound marvel of mankind. I am pretty sad we don't get to send an animal into space today, but whatever's in here can also die, and that's just a lot of fun. And we're off to a pretty strong start today. We're already 15,000 kilometers into the air, which seems like it's pretty high up. We're not particularly collecting anything along the way, and I think my astronaut probably just died. But I have earned about $1,700 so far. So let's add a new piece of the engine. This one's 3,350 power, this one's 3,400 power. It is a little bit heavier though, and that's okay. We'll just keep strapping on power until it works. And given that our wings are currently made of sheets, let's go for an upgrade there too. This is the Vortex Yarn V2, used by Grandma in her old kitchen. $500, but a little bit better handling. Get ready for that extra thrust. We're going to be a little bit heavier, so we're probably going to use a little bit more fuel, but we can steer ourselves around better to crash into other idiots in the sky. We don't have to be the best rocket in the air, we just need to be the one that knocks everything else out of the sky. Then I will be king of the rockets. Everyone else doesn't matter. Oh, there we go. We beat our best distance already. Maybe we should be like Elon and make a rocket that can land back on the ground again. I feel like my exploding rocket is probably bad for, I was going to say the astronaut, but we don't care about him. It's bad for profit. But we can buy some new boosters for only $400. I hope they won't explode. At least not until they've earned me some money. Pretty sure these are going to help. There we go. We're picking up speed pretty quick. We're just going to keep going straight up on this one. Unless we hit something like that. And we'll go around him and keep going up because we're faster than him with all this rocket power. It's instructed me to find more fuel. And then that thing hit me. Well, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta keep launching stuff into space until good things happen. I do see it's now more to my benefit to actually steer around and pick stuff up along the way. I'm not really sure what this guy's problem is. Wow. Then I'm not really sure. Yeah, there we go. I got rid of the tutorial. I just had to press all the buttons. I've already spent thousands of dollars on my rocket and I'm barely through the tutorial. And it still blows up after 10 seconds. I think the hardest part of this game is trying to learn what you want to hit and what you want to avoid. Normally I aim to crash into everything in the sky because I don't want to share the sky with anything, but on this game things can actually hurt you and knock you out of the sky. And it's a little bit hard to make money if you're not making it really high up or physically gathering money that seems to be floating in the sky for some reason. And it seems to be to my benefit to swerve around, never mind, and grab whatever I can along the way. There's our best distance, so we're going for a new record. Hopefully this is worth some money. Doesn't seem like it was. But we can also increase our thrust for only $200 as a rocket perk, so I'm sure that was entirely worth it. With $89 to my name, we're launching back into orbit. I don't mean to make myself look overly stupid, but I just realized for the first time there's radar in the upper left that can actually show me what's around me. So as long as I'm paying attention to that, I should be doing much better now and actually making some money because we need to upgrade this crap. The next thing I'm going to do is upgrade my handling for just $200. Because the more I can steer around and grab fuel and money, the quicker we're going to get to wherever it is we're going. Which in the case of my pilot is probably a horrible death. And it seems to be a small boost, but I'll take any help I can get right now. And also I've realized that if I'm not holding my booster the entire time, I can actually steer a little bit better. And I don't go through nearly as much fuel, at least until I see one of these idiots. Normally when I play a game, I turn everything up to 11 right away, which means maximum thrusters, but in the case of this game, that doesn't always work out very well. So we're going to take our time to grab fuel along the way. And before you know it, we'll be reaching new heights. Even got some fuel in the cloud. We just broke through our best distance already and we're still going pretty strong with half a tank of fuel plus whatever we can find along the way. And picking up these magnets really seems to help because that hoovers everything from nearby straight into me. We're about to hit 50,000 kilometers apparently and we're still going strong. At least until my rocket self-destructs, but we have a long ways to go still. So the next thing I'm going to do is invest $200 to make myself earn 6% more money. That will pay for itself in no time, provided I don't do anything stupid. So right now I'm getting about $23 per coin, and I assume these are going to get bigger the higher into the sky I go. So just one kamikaze run at a time, we'll make it to the moon. We just broke through 50,000, running a little bit low on fuel. There's the best distance, so hopefully we get a little bit higher. Gonna work my way all the way over to grab this fuel and still going up. It's still a pretty big fight to get anywhere considering all these other things can kind of knock me out of the sky super easily and I run out of fuel fairly fast. Apparently I did reach a checkpoint though. I'm not really sure what that means, but we did make almost $500 in this run, so that's a pretty good start. $527 to spend. So we're going to spend $300 on weight reduction and $200 on drag reduction. This should make me faster overall. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm just going to keep flying through the sky picking up gas. And this little run might be the first case of my astronaut actually dying before the rocket does. Normally they go out together in a kind of romantic explosion, but my health is looking kind of low this time around. But I'm pretty sure we're getting close to our personal best. As long as Idiot can hold up for just a few more feet, we're at 66,000 kilometers. And we need to avoid things like that. And the thing's chasing me. Uh-oh, we might be dead. I'm just going to use my boosters as much as I can right now to hopefully reach a new height. Just past my best distance, but not by much. So let's give ourselves 6% more fuel. The next thing we're going to upgrade is to the Bristol stove apparently. That's $500 and it's going to give us 70 extra fuel. And the more time we can spend in the air, the more money we're going to make. And now with all this fuel and maneuverability, I'm able to make lots of money every run. So we'll be able to add all sorts of stupid parts to this thing. We use that fuel to reach a new height of 91,000 kilometers. So next I'm going to buy better handling for $400. And that's going to help me collect even more money and dodge the idiots along the way. Definitely wishing I had the kind of incredible thrusters that would rocket me to the moon past all the idiots, then I wouldn't have to bother with all this steering or anything. The game just gave me a hint. It said use the brakes to avoid obstacles. I'm never ever using the brakes on a rocket. It's bad enough I can't just thrust my way through this. But speaking of which, we can get another 2% thrust for only $600. Could I be spending my money better? Yes. Would I get more thrust out of that? No. Then for our next $400 upgrade, we're going to upgrade our money for an extra 3%. In fact, that's the only thing we're going to upgrade for a while because that's just going to turn into more money for us in the future. So there's another $500 to money. Managed to make it pretty high so far. There's 72,000. Still not our personal best, but it's got to be close. And that wasn't what I wanted to happen. Before increasing money anymore, because I'm not really seeing a great return on that, I'm going to reduce my weight. And that means we can add a few parts because we're going to be lighter anyway. So we're going to upgrade from an air funnel to a sky ladle. That's going to give me one less drag but add a little bit of extra weight. Not entirely sure how that makes sense, but I'm not going to question it. Weight is going to keep going upwards, collecting money and adding parts. Next, I am actually going to upgrade my fuselage. That way I get a little extra armor because things do actually hurt. My rocket is looking worse than ever before, despite the fact it's much better. And the more armor I have, the less effort I need to put into dodging the idiots. I've done 43 flights so far. We've gone 68,000 kilometers. We need to get to 384,000 kilometers. So it's going to be a long journey. And since I've managed to save up almost $1,000, we're going to buy a better engine for $800. When in doubt, just add more power. And I don't know if it's my imagination, but I do feel like I'm moving a lot better, a lot quicker, and I'm outrunning things, so this is a lot nicer. And this might actually propel us to a new personal best because we're about to hit 80,000 kilometers into the sky. I do wish we got a bit of a monetary reward for reaching heights, but that's okay. So after saving up another $976, let's reduce our drag another 0.5%, which means we can move faster than ever before, which means we can make money faster and get higher. Because as much as I enjoy watching this little ball blow up in my rocket endlessly, we do need to get him to the moon at some point. And the next upgrade we're going to go for is more fuel. This is probably the single best upgrade I can get right now, and it only costs $600. Adds 5 pounds of weight, so we're back up to 118. So we're definitely going to be a little bit slower again, but we're going to go so much higher. And then after grinding up another $1,000, we're going to reduce their weight one more time because that's going to knock it down another 3% total. So that brings you down to 114. Not the most exciting looking upgrade, but I bet it's going to take us really high up. And we just broke our best distance. We're at 93,000. I'm hoping if I get to 100,000, they give me a large money reward, but I'm not really banking on it. I've been using my brakes just a little bit because it actually helps. Who'd have thought? And we fell just shy of 100,000. And we clearly didn't get any reward for that because I got $282 to my name. I just broke my personal best. We're a little over 100,000 and being swarmed by everything ever. But we're up to 105,000 and we're making pretty good money. $1,246 basically all on this one single run. And we ran into Sweden. That probably means we need a lighter jet for better thrusters. That's only $500. And then you know what? The Air Lady 2 after that for only $600. Now we're gonna have way more thrust. And the rocket just looks that much better now. But now that I bought those, that means I probably am gonna have to use my thrusters more. I do when I get into trouble, but maybe not as much as I should be overall. But to be fair, I'm very tired and also very stupid, so it's hard for me to figure these things out. Okay, so what we need now is Exhaust B for $900. That's going to give me an extra 50 thrust, otherwise known as more overall movement speed. And my new engine led me to a slightly better personal best so far, 120,000. Next on the list of upgrades is going to be better handling for $600. Better avoid other country balls. That's very important because they're driving me nuts. The more easily I can navigate to things and pick up the fuel, the higher we're going to get. And the sooner we're going to hit the moon. And there's another personal best, but only barely. Mostly thanks to this improved handling now that I can kind of squeak around all the things that I don't really want to touch that much. Kind of like that thing. It actually gets kind of stressful when you get this high up because you're so busy trying to dodge everything that you forget you need fuel. That definitely is my kind of rocket though. It runs out of fuel and it just explodes. Speaking of fuel, let's spend $700 to get another 3% increase. That's actually going to add a lot. My favorite part of this process is right about here, when we've already decently committed to a run, but we still don't know exactly how it's gonna go. It only takes one of these little idiots to ruin my entire day. Like for example, this run started out very good, but we just broke 100,000 kilometers and now we're in big trouble because we're out of both fuel and health. Because we ran into a few idiots, kinda like that. I guess I could probably buy some armor. It's only $200. The next one's 500, but we'll get there. I've also now learned that if I kind of hover around at lower elevations and just focus on money, I can make it a lot faster that way. So I'm going to grind up a bunch of upgrades before trying to push any higher. And there's $1,600 mostly from a single run. So I think this idiot's finally earned himself some better wings. In fact, we're going to go ahead and upgrade that twice. Finally something a little bit more aerodynamic. Now it's starting to look like a rocket. Look how sharp I can turn. We're gonna make way more money like this. Then we did another run for about $1,000, so we're gonna buy more money. I've also discovered that you can go like this. You can fly them straight back into the ground when you get annoyed with them. It is a very slow process trying to grind up money in this game. And next we're gonna add even more weight, but we're gonna add even more fuel. And this beautiful contraption is what we're gonna see how high exactly it can take us. I've definitely gotten very good at dodging some of the other stupid balls, so I might be able to do pretty well now. So far so good. We're 40,000 feet and my stats are still pretty well full, but that can definitely change very quickly. But the high powered thrusters definitely help because they can kind of get me away from everything I don't want to touch, which is pretty well everything. Keeping fueled is going to be the hardest part, especially when I have to drop backwards if I'm running into the wrong things. What started out as a very good run has once again fallen apart on me. I'm at 85,000 kilometers and dead. I'm thinking my handling is good enough that I don't really need to use the brakes that much right now. Probably not until 100,000 kilometers. As long as I'm paying attention to the radar, I'll be pretty fine. I had another great run going. I was doing perfectly fine up until about 75,000 kilometers. Then I ran into an idiot and lost almost all of my health. But things seem to have recovered somewhat. I'm going to drop a little bit there to grab some fuel and then try and avoid all of that. And rocket on past it all. Maybe I should have upgraded my armor. Once I get to about here, I'm just constantly under attack. And if you run into one of the big planets, you die right away. 111,000 kilometers above the Earth. But that's not bad considering we were flying this thing that entire time. A few more upgrades, it might get easier. But that depends on my own skill.